Yo, Win Column family, welcome back again. We're doing another player breakdown. This time we're going to do La'Mical Perine. A lot of you guys waivers will be going through tonight, tomorrow morning. I want to see if I can squeeze in there and help you with a little bit of tape of what he's delivering for the Jets offense. Now, we've heard from the unfireable Adam Gase, the coach that can never be fired. In other words, because I don't know if unfireable is a word, but when it's all said and done, we've heard that La'Mical Perine will be getting some more touches, and we saw week 7 against the Bills that he definitely did get those touches, right? Frank Gore did not touch the ball as often as we've seen in the past, so I want to break down to you guys what the Jets seem to be doing with La'Mical Perine. This is not a special athlete. Did not have a great combine score, just a 4.6 40 kind of guy. Shuttle drills, cone drills was not extremely high, but I think he is giving the Jets something because, you know, their primary back is an extremely old guy, you know, future Hall of Famer, but, you know, past his prime. So let's take a look at some of the ways that the Jets are trying to get La'Mical Perine involved, who obviously is a running back, so he's lined up here next to Sam Darnold, right? What we're going to get here is a little bit of a route to the outside, and I like to see things like this because a lot of times with fantasy, I shouldn't say fantasy, but a lot of times when running backs get involved in the passing game, it can tend to be just dump offs and screens, but right here you get a little bit of a route. You know, you get a guy setting the linebacker up a little bit. Nothing extremely special here, but it's always kind of nice to see when a running back is getting a chance to run some routes, not just, you know, get screens and dump offs or things of that nature. He ran 2 routes in this game, had 3 targets, 2 catches, has 6 catches on the year. I can say that that's something that I would expect will continue to keep going this particular year. So with that being said, I think that his passing game or his passing down role should be pretty solid, seeing that he is actually running some routes for the team. But let's get over to some of the running plays and break some of that stuff down as well. So what I want you guys to see next is this toss play on a 3rd and 3. This is something that the Jets were running all game long, and La'Mical Perine does quite a lot in this offense. And I think one of the things that's kind of significant about this is the fact that the Jets seem to use La'Mical Perine as a guy to get out on the edge. Now, for a guy who ran a 4.6 40, right, as we see from the end zone angle, I think that he does a pretty good job being explosive and getting up the field on these kind of runs. And I mean, like I said, they give him these kind of runs very often. I want to go back to the all 22 version so we can just or angle, I should say, so that we can get a good look at how the tackle pulls and how he gets out in space, makes a guy miss in order to get a couple of extra yards downfield, and on the 3rd and 3 is able to get you 8 yards. I don't think that that's anything that you can turn your nose up at, because as far as for the Jets offense, he's the guy that's delivering this. He is consistently being asked to make some plays on the edge, and I think that he's, you know, filling that bill. So I think it's part of why Adam Gase wants to continue to get some touches in this guy's hands. But of course, let's keep on looking for some more. So yeah, tosses, edge runs is really important, I think, for the usage of La'Mical Perine. We're going to see it here on a 20-yard run. He's going to get to the outside. And then at that point, it's all about galloping. It's all about getting up on your horse. Now, I don't sound super excited because it's hard to be extremely excited when I'm sitting here watching tape of La'Mical Perine and the Jets. It's not a lot of stuff that's going to wow you. But one thing that is I see as a positive is that, you know, as we see him, you know, get between the guard and the tackle here, for a nice little explosive run. That's 20 yards. You'll take that, because the thing that's positive about it when it's all said and done is the fact that the Jets offensive line does not look horrible. La'Mical Perine does not look horrible. I think there's holes there. You know, I think that they're doing a pretty good job here. And I think that I do see a difference after watching so much tape, because I'm also working on another video that's Jets related. I do see somewhat of a difference when I'm looking at the Jets before Adam Gase went ahead and gave away play calling duties. And I think that La'Mical Perine getting out to the edge of the offense, the way that the line is playing, is not the worst thing. I mean, the one thing you have to temper your expectations for the fact that, simply this is the Jets. They came out in the first half looking really good against the Bills. In the second half, they had like 16 total yards, something crazy like that, if I'm not mistaken. So you do have to understand, you have to temper your expectations because this is the Jets. But La'Mical Perine's role as the guy to get out on the edge, get in space, it has so far, I think, produced something that is worth looking at going forward for the rest of the season, especially if the matchup looks like one where you can expect that the Jets can at least keep it somewhat close to keep the run game involved. But the fact that the kid has a passing down role, I think, just adds to what you can, reasonably expect. And I say reasonably, for a reason, of course. To look at some more. Now, what I want to show you here is La'Mical Perine's touchdown run. And I think what's significant about this is that this is a play that the Jets run with La'Mical Perine pretty much 3 times in a row. And I'm going to show you all 3 times, including this one that goes for a touchdown. And what they do a lot is they bring the wide receiver here in motion, okay? And you're going to get a tackle pulling, okay? Sometimes, in some cases, the guard will also pull here. In some cases, you may get a guard pull from this side of the field, but they run variations of this play with the wide receiver pulling and a tackle pulling and possibly a couple other guards pulling. They run this very often, and I think that La'Mical Perine does a good job on these runs. So I'm going to go ahead and just show it to you in real time here. And then we're going to take a look at the end zone angle because it reveals that La'Mical Perine does a good job on this run at the end of the day. Is able to get outside. Again, not the fastest guy, not the most athletic guy, but you can't tell on a play like that. So let's look at it. Let's pop over to the end zone angle and look at this again. What I want you guys to look at, what I want you guys to focus on, which is part of why I want to kind of slow this down and kind of break it down, is how the linebacker Edmonds plays this. He's aware, very much aware of the play. And I think that La'Mical Perine does a great job of having his own awareness to understand that he has a guy kind of tracking him down through the defense. As we stop right there, look at how Edmonds is able to get that penetration up the field, but look how Perine is able to beat him to the edge. I think that's pretty good. Like I said, I mean, you get a guy who gets into the combine, does not run extremely fast, does not test as a special athlete, but I think that he's shown some patience, some quickness, some explosiveness to be able to make plays. He does not make a bunch of guys miss, but he's good enough to make the first guy miss. He's good enough to beat you to the edge. And I think the Jets really love to use him in this kind of way. But again, watch how Edmonds is coming downhill, right? Is able to shed the block, is trying to catch up with Perine from that gap, is only able to get some fingertips on him as he dives for the pile on. I think that that's a pretty good run. And I want to show you guys a couple other times that they run this play, and none of it is special, but what it does help to show you, I think, is just kind of what we may see develop over time as more teams start to see them consistently using Perine in this way. I just think that he's kind of one of those kind of smart backs that just gets what's there and does the right thing, and I think that there's nothing wrong with that. All right, so here we go again. This is Perine's next touch after the touchdown, and we're going to get guard tackle pull, wide receiver in motion. It's the same play. The Jets only need 1 yard, right? And again, I think La'Mical Perine does a good job with this. This is not going to blow you away, guys, but it's not a whole lot of explosive big time plays when you're talking about the Jets. So it's kind of the subtle things that you start to kind of, look for that'll help you kind of be able to make a decision about what is this guy doing. And I just kind of like how he's able to get what he's supposed to get here. The Jets only need 1 yard. This is the same kind of touch that he got the last time he touched the ball. The Bills are not going to be fooled by this. They know it's a run. Guys are coming downhill, but it's well blocked for the most part, and he gets the yard, But I want to show you another this play being ran for his 3rd touch in a row, and I think that the way that Perine runs this particular one says a lot about him as a player, I think. So here we go. This is the 3rd touch in a row that the Jets are going to run the same play. I think this is a big part of why the yards started to come down just so much in this game for the Jets the second half. They ran a lot of the same plays and concepts, but I think Perine shows great awareness here. Wide receiver pulling, of course. We're not going to get the big pull from the tackles and the guards, but as you can see on this play, and I pause it right here because Edmonds is like, look, I'm not no more. Like I'm done with you guys consistently running this play, right? I'm coming downhill and I'm stopping this run. I think that Perine does a really good job, as you can see, eyes upfield where they should be, reading the linebackers, the defensive linemen, his offensive linemen, of course, right? And I think that he just does a good job here of being able to stick a foot in the ground, right, and try to get this play up the field. It was a 2nd and 1, and he gets the 1 yard. And on a play where the Bills are like, look, you're not going to keep running this same play against us, guys. Like, we know what this is. We're coming downhill. You just need a yard. And I don't think that you get this yard unless you have a running back who's showing the awareness and showing the vision to find a cutback lane to get that 1 extra yard. So look, it's hard to have a whole lot of special things to show you. I showed you his big run. I showed you his touchdown. I showed you that he runs routes in this offense. So I would say at the end of the day, give him a try. If you're suffering from some of the running back injuries that are starting to happen, if you know that you're not going to get Chase Edmonds and guys like that in the waiver wire, you just lost King and Drake, for example, I would say get this guy a try. It's no reason not to. But for the person out there who says, you're just looking at 1 week of play, I can show you that La'Mical Perine has been used as a guy to get to the edge and get in space for this offense in other games. When I watched everything. A lot of the snaps with Joe Flacco, you get a lot of 2 and 3 yard runs. I don't think defenses respected Flacco much at all. So everybody was kind of up at the line of scrimmage. Sam Darnold, I think, makes defenses play just a slightly more honest at the end of the day. So I won't show you guys any of that, but I will show you a couple of runs that he had with Darnold in a couple other weeks, just to go ahead and put a bow on it to say that I think this guy's role as a space player, as a big play guy, for as much as you can get a big play with the Jets, is solidified. So let's take a look at a couple of those before we end the video. So here we go, week 3 at the 10-yard line. Nice little patient run, finds the outside, gets a nice little stiff arm there. He's just one of those guys. He's one of those workers at the end of the day. This is what this dude is. He's one of those workers, Again, am I getting as excited as I was watching J. Michael Hasty? J. Michael and La'Mical are not the same guy at the end of the day as far as explosiveness. They're not playing in the same offenses and things of that nature. But, I think that the patience here, boom. Patient, put his foot in the ground, gets upfield, stiff arms a guy just to make sure that you understand that, tackling me is not going to be easy for you. It's going to be a long day if you're trying to get your hands on me. That kind of stuff, I think he does well. I think this guy's worth a pickup again. And now here we go, week 2 against the Niners. Another outside run, well blocked. Perine is able to get upfield, isn't able to make the guy miss there, kind of goes down immediately. But again, just for the point of establishing that this is the way that the Jets tend to use this kid. As I showed you on the cutback run, the 1 yard cutback run, I think that, the next step for the kid is, when he comes in the game, you're gonna have a lot of defensive linemen, linebackers that are watching film, and they're gonna start to just kind of say, you know what, let's just get outside. Let's just try to, get outside. And I think that he's shown that if you do that, he's going to start cutting it back. But so far, as far as just a guy that the Jets want to get to the edge, I think he's solidified that. Is no doubt about it. Is what the kid is doing, I think, most consistently for the offense. And finally, we're going to get a little 6-yard run here. And I'm showing this to you because I think you don't get a lot of opportunities to see it, but there's a nice little example of Perine being able to stick a foot in the ground and make a guy miss. You just don't get to see it enough with just the limited amount of plays that he's played and the limited amount of times that he gets out in space like this for us to be able to make a determination on if he has the ability to do this. So again, are you going to see a whole lot of special plays? No. Are you going to get some, plays like this with a foot in the ground, getting upfield? Yeah. Are you going to get a guy who's going to be used in space? Yes. Are you going to be getting a guy that is going to be getting some catches out of the backfield, running some routes? Yes. So again, just to put a bow on it, I would say try to grab them if you have the space on your team. If you're going through some injuries and things of that nature, if you're skeptical, hopefully this helped you out. That's what the purpose of this whole thing is. That's what I'm doing this for. I appreciate all the support. I appreciate all the comments, the good, the bad, the ugly. Continue, guys, to send me recommendations of who you want to see. Continue to ask questions. I love the fantasy questions, the trade questions, things of that nature. I'm here for you all day. I appreciate you guys, man. It's been a lot of fun. We're going to keep it going. With all that being said, I'm out.